Now from here, Jesus is going to leave Galilee, and now Jesus is going to take his 12 and move outside the region of Israel right there and move up towards Tyre and Sidon. What's interesting about this area, it's the same area where Elijah the prophet from the Old Testament was hidden by God with the widow of Zarephath, and where God preserved this Gentile woman in Tyre and Sidon and had the prophet hide there while Jezebel was the one in control of the country in Israel. Okay, so you have the false shepherds in control of the country, and you have the true shepherd now with his 12 sheep traveling out to the outer areas. Why is he staying out of Galilee at this point? Because how far away are we from the crucifixion? 1 year away. We know the feeding of the 5,000 happened at Passover. So we're 1 year away. And they want to make him king in Galilee. And it's not that type of kingdom. They've totally missed it. And down in Jerusalem, there's a plot on his life. They want to kill him. So they want to king him or they want to kill him. And so he stays out here now, and for the next 6 months, he'll come back into Galilee, but he'll mainly stay out. He'll come back, but he's mainly out in these regions here. And this unusual miracle happens in Mark chapter 7, verse 24. Jesus got up and went away to the region of Tyre. When he had entered the house, he didn't want anyone to know it, but he couldn't escape notice. Everywhere he was going, people were talking about him. So this woman comes and begs, verse 26, Jesus to cast the demon out of her daughter. And we find out in the parallel account that she calls him the Son of David. This woman is from the old Canaanite religion area, and she knows who Jesus is. She has heard of him, and when she finds out, the word spreads, he's here. She begs him to cast out the demon from her daughter that has tormented her daughter. And Jesus ignores her. And finally the disciples are like, just tell her to go away. She's a woman and she's a Gentile and she's bothersome. And then, I know if you're like me, this has puzzled you greatly. This is what Jesus says to the woman. Let the children be satisfied first. It's not good to take the children's bread and throw it to the dogs. Does that sound derogatory to you? Well, let's see. It's Jesus, so it can't be derogatory. Okay, who's the miracle for? Well, obviously, does Jesus know he's going to do the miracle? Okay, we know that Jesus knows he's going to do the miracle. So who is the miracle for? Well, it's going to be for the woman's daughter. She's going to benefit. Who's the miracle for? Who's with him? Who is he training? Okay, how do the disciples view this woman? She's a Gentile dog. She doesn't deserve anything connected to you, Jesus, because she is an outsider. So Jesus, it's almost like he's giving them what they expect. This is what they would say. And so this is what he says to her. He knows he's going to do the miracle. She answered and said to him, yes, Lord, even the dogs under the table feed on the children's crumbs. Have you ever seen a stray dog beg? They're kind of mangy, just like, you're not going to get my pretzel, forget it. What makes you give that last piece? Throw it to him. That's what this woman wants. Just throw me. Now watch. Where have the disciples just had bread? Feeding of the 5,000. Who had thrown the bread away? The children of the kingdom. We don't want you anymore. Remember, Jesus has said to them in Capernaum, in the synagogue, I am the bread of life. And then he said, you can't be an observer. You have to eat it. You know, the refreshments that have been back here, you can come in and look at them all you want. But when you take it and eat it, it's part of you. That's the malfunction junction that's happened here. There's no middle ground with Jesus. Oh, we don't want you. You're not what we thought. Have you ever tried to feed a child that just doesn't want whatever you give them? No matter how you make it look and how appeasing and how appealing, and even with a small child, if you circle it around in an airplane, the mouth is closed. I will not take it. And this is what the leadership has done with Jesus. You could not come to us in any way that would make us accept you. So what's going to happen to the bread? Throw it to the oh, did you just call those Gentiles dogs? Jesus is teaching his disciples that what one rejects, is going to go to the Gentiles. The bread of life that has come is going to be rejected. Now, this is the first clear picture of it. And then Jesus moves back down in this area that he's preaching in, and there's this man that comes to him, and he's blind, and they say, oh, heal him, he's blind. So Jesus spits and makes mixture and puts it on his eyes and says, what do you see? I see men walking around like trees. It's really fuzzy. I see people, but it's really fuzzy. Oh dear, was Jesus' magic powers not working that day? No, he didn't have magic powers. He did everything the Father wanted him to do. So why did this man, couldn't he see, right like that? Who is the miracle for? Well, obviously Jesus is going to heal this man, give him sight. But who is he teaching during this whole time? What is he trying to teach his disciples? You see it, but your spiritual understanding of what's about to happen, what is it like? You are so nearsighted. You kind of see people and they're kind of just, it's not really clear.